Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It is October the 26th, 2016. Time to kick off another trading day. Very little news out last night past Apple's earnings. Today we don't have a lot of news on our slate either. So this will tend to yield a trading range. Now, stocks sold overnight, Apple's earnings and their forward projections were disappointing. The initial reaction was a rally, then a reverse when they read the body of the report. Crude oil is lower, and we saw yesterday that crude oil was impacting oil prices, stock market prices. So the financial meme overnight is Apple's earnings and lower crude oil prices are taking equities lower. Today we have trade balance at minus 60.5. Flash services, and I didn't see the number this morning, 51.9 last. That one might come in higher given the recent jump in manufacturing and services flash PMIs. New home sales at 601. And crude oil inventories plus 7/10. Now the APIs, they were looking for plus 2, it came in plus 4.8. And that's what took crude oil prices down. Used to, the APIs and EIA numbers had virtually zero correlation. Of late, if the API showed a build, the EIA showed a build, and vice versa. So my guess is that crude oil might build more than 700,000 barrels. So what's the news focus today? New home sales. Perhaps the direction of the E-mini. But the biggest factor when it's all said and done today is going to be the 5-year auction. And they can't move the paper in down markets. So we're going to find some support at some place today. We left yesterday's market wanting to sell in London. And we had sell failure to take out 12 to 16. Put it a little bit higher than yesterday's action. The overnight session high was 9.5. So we also had a B in the overnight session. So somebody was selling it. It was obvious to see it was building in the profile. So you had the idea came in lower than the level. That meant the market was weaker than I foresaw it being. Had a B. Then we get a move out of the middle in P period, a mom, and the markets come lower. So right here we are. I don't think they're going to break the market, so we're going to put 25, 29 as buy one. Might take a 130 to get in. Looks like it's headed lower. We'll play for that. Then a 17 to 21 for buy two. On the sell side, right out of the chute, 3 to 7. Then 11 to 15. So at some point today, I think they find support, and it may not come until 11:30 Central Time, as is off the case on the intermediate term auction. Yesterday's 2-year auction was weak. That first series of numbers, I still don't know where those came from. I thought I was on Econo Day, but I was on maybe a parallel universe Econo Day. But that was a pretty weak auction, 2.53 to 1 coverage. Also news out overnight that the Chinese state purchases have gone to Japan, a country that they're supposedly increasing the drumbeat of war with. They sold $86 billion in U.S. treasuries and bought $86 billion in Japanese treasuries. And you ask, well, why would they do that? They're the only economies that can absorb the kind of money that China has to throw at the market. The U.S. treasuries are definitely out of favor with China. Okay, support. The buck to 04. So 25, 29, buy one. 13 to 17, buy two. Resistance is 12 to 16. 19 to 23, sell 1. 31 to 03, sell 2. Again, the news today, not market moving. Normally does not move markets. Gold was off a little bit last night. We thought gold would go higher and get stops in London. Then it could sell. It wasn't able to take out and hold 75 in the night session. So we do have a seller in gold at 75. And this idea that we might get stops above did not work out. We had pretty strong buying. In fact, the overnight or Globex session stopped a tick or two inside yesterday's day session high. Market came together looking at this profile again. A B, you can see it developing in front of your eyes. London, listen, you know that you didn't take out the high. We've got a 4/5 letter ledge right there at 77. We've got a B shape, and we also get a mom. There's a lot of reasons to be a seller, but you don't need any more than that, the shape of the profile. So you could be short in the 73.50, 74 area or higher. And now the market's got to bust 70 to stay with the trade. So looks like stops below 70, 68 to 70 by 1. And then 64, 66 by 2. On the sell side, 74, 76, sell 1. And 79.81, sell 2. Dollars off overnight. Yen and the euro are higher. Their currency markets are just as choppy as our other markets here in the trading range. We do like the short side of the euro better, but starting in Frankfurt, it was bought and it rallied up, and we got to our second sell zone, which was 109.50. So sell 1, 50. To 60, 75, sell 2. On the buy side, 925, then 109 even for buy 2. Crude oil, day session, we usually look at 40 to 50 ticks. API number was much higher than anticipated. They were looking for a build of 2 million. It was up 4.8. Cushing was down 2.3 million barrels. Gasoline was up 1.7. That's not good. That was bearish. Distillate drew 0.92. That was somewhat supportive. So the market is pointed lower right now. We should get some short covering from the traders before the EIA numbers. So stops below 49, 48.75, 49 by 1. We haven't taken out 49 yet either, but it's there and it's close enough to gap. And then with the EIA number potentially showing a pretty big build, we'll make buy 2, 48, 48.25. On the sell side, we're at 19, so 49.50 to 75, sell 1. May take a 25 to get in right here, that high volume number. So we'll put a question mark right there. Why do I want to be short? I've got a mom and P period that was done by the API numbers. I've got a B in the overnight session, so why wouldn't I want to be short? Because I might be wrong, Charles. That's true. You might be wrong. But what else are you going to do? Are you a trader or what? Speculator or spectator? $50 is a very, very round number. If we can stay below 50, the market's in a sell mode. Okay, the E-mini's lower and trying to trade lower. We keep getting lower highs. That suggests that the sentiment is to the sell side. It's interesting, the couple of comments about the VIX. The VIX really jumped when it looks like Hillary's out taking the lead, and dropped when some polls show Trump taking the lead, and I don't know who has the lead or not. But everybody has said, that the market would just sell or bomb if Trump were to win the presidency. And current economics, earnings per share, the business climate and everything is pretty bad, but if your GDP is ultimately controlled or set by your industrial policy and your tax policies, Trump's proposed changes in taxes and regulations, Obamacare and the rest of it, are actually long-term more supportive for growth than Hillary's maintaining the status quo. Now, maintaining the status quo is a different deal. The people that are at the top of the heap, that are making money right now as things are, that are rent seekers, which means you're getting paid for your political contributions and letting the government run interference for you with your competition, etc. That's a different matter. And they have the cash and they can support the market. So if I were looking at the long-term prospects for growth based on traditional economics, Trump would give you more reasons to be long equities or buying into breaks than Hillary Clinton's election would be. But that's not a meme put out by the financial press. That we see from WikiLeaks is that it's really been exposed how this one idea or this manipulation from one source, and a lot of the stuff that's printed about and written about and that drives the mainstream media is direct from the Clinton campaign, or the DNC. And what you'll see in the financial articles is that one person or one outlet will come up with their reasons for the market being higher or lower, and all of a sudden that's in every financial wire out there, driven by the same stuff. You're ranked and measured by your peers. If you're all saying the same thing, it's pretty hard to get fired, if you know what I mean. So there's just so many similarities out there. Okay, we're in a trading range right now. Looks like we're headed for the bottom end of it, 21.15. The seller right now is 21.45 to 21.50, coming a little bit lower. So we've got this low at 2100 basically, and that low at 2107. So 2100, 2110, 2115, 3 candles is where we should find support, and it looks like we're headed that way. Looking at the F1 screen, perhaps a move out of the middle in G. If we break this B period low, I'll move B, E, and F into this distribution. And you can see by this distribution that we're getting bottom heavy right here, which also supports lower prices. So this screen, the F1, supports lower prices. And if we look at the F2 screen overnight, again, why are you saying lower, Charles? Well, I've got a B right here. I've got a B right here. I have a potential mom right here, and I definitely have a B right here. So why wouldn't I say so? Maybe we rejected prices below 27. We don't know that. And it looks like we've rejected prices above 32. So ideally, We'd like to sell 34s to 36s, but it may take a 32 to get in. So I'm going to put a question mark at 32. So sell 1, 34, 36. Sell 2, 39, 41. On the buy side, we may have rejected prices below 27. We do have stops below 23.50 to get. So first little band of support, we've got a B right here, retesting the low, maybe getting stops below 25, so 24, 26, buy 1. That picks up this support band right here. And then, like we bust 25, that 15 to 17 is going to be the next place that we're heading. There will be some chart support at 17, so we'll put 15 to 17 out there. No news to drive that trading. The selling that started last night was attributed to Apple's earnings and their forecast for future earnings and lower prices in crude oil. So, like to get short to see if we can take out 25. If we can't take out 25, we can trade from the long side. Okay, we'll take a bit to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy on that. I will be back with you as soon as possible.